Hello, everybody. Welcome to Talking About Houses. I'm Todd.
I'm Juana.
Okay, we're going to talk about an article that came out in the Boston Globe. Now, it's opinion based. Okay, so it's opinion, but there's some interesting things in here. I saw the headline. I decided to read through it. Juana read through it. We're going to talk about some of the things in here because some of them are completely misinformation or someone who doesn't understand like how economics works. Okay, before we do that, Juana, how important is it that they subscribe to the channel?
Super important. You get to see Todd's whole wardrobe. He has other blazers.
I do.
And
I have two other blazers.
Yes, there you go. You get to see his whole wardrobe, and you get to see videos with charts and graphs and lots of cool stuff. This is not one of them. But
No.
Generally speaking, he has lots of charts and graphs because he loves charts and graphs. So please subscribe, hit the notification bell, like the video, share the video, leave real estate related comments, and here we go.
Okay, every time you subscribe to the channel or share a video or like a video, a crash bro somewhere sheds a tear. Okay, so let's get those guys crying with actual information. Here's the article. Sky high home prices blame the NAR, the National Association of Realtors. NAR policy pursuits have contributed to high rents, high home prices, the housing shortage, exclusionary zoning, economic inequality, and even the repeal of Roe v. Wade. All of those, it's NAR's fault.
Well, and cats and dogs living together.
Cats and dogs living together, mass hysteria. If you know what that's from, then put it in the comments.
There you go.
You may know, that's not super old. Okay, we're going to go over some of the stuff in here. Here's the first quote in the article. The NAR National Association of Realtors recently agreed to a $418 million settlement resulting from the cooperative system that determined the commissions buyers and sellers agent receive. The settlement gives, which is not the truth. We'll talk about that in a second. That's not what the settlement over. Okay, the settlement gives consumers more negotiating power when buying or selling a home. Also not true. But NAR's influence over commission structures is a minor aspect of a much more insidious influence over housing in America. NAR's influence extends to every level of government, and the results aren't necessarily in the best interest of the public. Okay, there's this thing called the Pentaverate. It is a group of 5 entities that control the world. So it's the Rothschilds, the Gettys, the Queen, the Vatican, and the NAR. Yeah. They're the 5, and it was Colonel Sanders. Then he went tits up. So he got thrown out, NAR. If you know what movie that's from, this is funny. If you know what movie that's from, put it in the comments. Juana,
Yes.
The settlement. No, seriously. This is like, it's kind of ridiculous. The settlement had nothing to do. It was that the agents supposedly were picking which houses to show based on the commission being offered. So they split that part away and say you can pay a commission, but you can't advertise. That's literally the only thing in the settlement, right?
Correct, because everything else was already there. Commissions were always negotiable. Sellers never had to pay commission. Buyers could always pay their agents. So all those things were already in place. As far as buyer-broker agreements are concerned, buyer-broker agreements have been around for a very long time. There are some markets in which they are mandatory, other markets where they are not, but they are available throughout the country. So again, not a big deal. Lots of different information out there. Most of it is misinformation. And then, of course, the settlement itself, there's misinformation about that because it is a proposed settlement. It is not a settlement. It will take a long time for it to get actually approved, and there will probably be changes to it. So, again, it is not a settlement. It is a proposed settlement.
What we have seen is that sellers the ones who we've talked to, are highly likely to continue to want to offer commission to buyer agents. Mm-hmm. Why would they want to do that?
Well, because sellers want to sell their homes. There are people who want to be listed, and there are people who want to sell their homes. The people who want to sell their homes understand that in order to get their home sold, they have to compensate both their own agent and the other agent. Now, whether they do it straight up and say, hey, go ahead and I'm going to pay this many bananas and you can have this many and the buyer's agent can have that many, or whether the buyer says, hey, I want to buy your home and I need you to pay closing costs. That includes paying my agent for his or her services. At the end of the day, it's all one sum of money out of which everybody gets paid.
Okay, here's another quote. NAR also continues to defend the mortgage interest deduction, a homeowner subsidy that allows for the tax deduction of mortgage interest. The deduction has been criticized by economists for disproportionately benefiting wealthier homeowners, encouraging construction of large homes, and contributing to economic inequality. You can also probably throw in the tax deduction for that you get. Juana, the idea, homeowners have 40 times the net worth of renters on average.
Correct.
Most people, the reason the boomers are the wealthiest generation on the planet is because of real estate. Because they've been holding real estate for 30, 40 years.
Right.
It's been appreciating for 30, 40 years.
Right.
Isn't it a bit ridiculous to say, let's say there was no mortgage interest deduction. People would still buy houses, right?
Absolutely.
And they would still have more wealth than somebody who just spends all their money every month, because a homeowner can spend all their money every month, but at the end of the day, they have this asset.
So here's the thing. That mortgage interest deduction is actually designed to help people on the lower economic spectrum, not on the higher economic spectrum. Because the people on the higher economic spectrum, first of all, that deduction has been slowly but surely been reduced over the years.
Based on income?
Based on income.
Okay.
And also the amount of interest that you can deduct. So for example, loans that were taken out before 2017 have a greater amount of deduction that you can take than homes that were or loans that were taken out after 2017. Now, the point of that is to encourage homeownership for two reasons. One, as Todd said, because homeowners tend to actually do better economically. Two, because people that are in the bottom half, let's say, of economic wealth, those are people who need that help. They need that tax deduction to help them purchase homes. And of course, one of the biggest reasons why the home interest tax deduction exists is because everything associated with home building is a substantial portion of the U.S. economy.
Yeah.
So let's not forget that.
It's like a seventh.
It is.
It's 1/7 of the U.S. economy.
Yes.
Is all real estate. It's the second largest industry in Nevada. Real estate, home building of all construction. Behind tourism, gaming, hospitality, leisure, that whole thing, right? And then I think third is either mining or agriculture.
Right.
And fourth is the other one if it's not mining or agriculture.
Right.
It's a huge thing.
Right. So, and this is throughout the country because, a lot of what drives the U.S. economy is housing. All right. So, yeah, there is a mortgage tax deduction for people who own homes and have mortgages because that contributes to everybody's bottom line through our GDP. So that is really important. So it's not about helping the wealthy because, like I said, there is a cap. So the wealthy don't necessarily benefit from it because of that cap. So because of that cap, the idea that it's benefiting the wealthy, that's not true because they don't have access beyond the cap.
Okay. Now, I'm going to put a link in the description if you want to go through and read the whole article. It's not really. It's like fantasy land. There's assumptions that are made there. Kind of. What's really funny is pretty much gets wrecked in the comments. But what I did is I found two comments that sort of are people on the same side. I don't want to go through the other comments because they're pretty obvious that they're pointing out that whoever wrote the articles doesn't make much sense. But here's some. We'll talk about these because I think it's interesting, not to pick on the person. We don't really care about the person. We're going to talk about the situations here. So here's the first one. This article is a breath of fresh air. My husband and I, lowercase I, sold our house in Hamilton 1 week after listing, not lusting, on Fizbo.com. It was easy for both parties. Very happy with the price. That's grammatically incorrect. Okay. The attorney earned every penny of her $1,200 fee, but we had no options to avoid realty middle people fees when buying. Okay. So they sold their house on FSBO.com, but they didn't go back to FSBO.com to buy a house. They wanted to look at all the houses, not just the ones. So they could sell their house on FSBO.com to save money, but they didn't want to have to go back. Leaving people like us forced to have that extra $40,000 rolled into the cost. We were forced to use a buyer realtor met at the open house. This is in Massachusetts, so apparently there are armed guards that when you walk into an open house, they handcuff you to the real estate agent. And you don't get handcuffed until the closing. You have to go with them through all the houses and everything. And they split the winnings. Mm-hmm. They split the winnings. I just wish more sellers smarten up. Sellers see, like, why would why would the seller not put his, like, why are the other sellers going through the MLS and not just going on FSBO.com for free or for whatever it costs, $50, just put it on FSBO.com and then wait for these people to show up and pay you $40,000 less? Because what they're asserting is I could get the house for $40,000 less if I buy it on FSBO.com because they apparently sold their house at a discount too.
There you go.
So talk about that. Why doesn't everyone just go on Zillow or FSBO.com and say, forget the real estate agents, I'll just put it on this site and then I'll sell it here and I'll avoid agents? Because you don't have to use, there's no law says you have to use real estate agents.
You know, there's no law saying they have to go to the dentist either. There are pliers. You can just take your own teeth out.
That's a good idea. We could start a startup where you go on a website and we send you the pliers and a link to a video where it shows you how to pull the tooth out.
There you go.
And some numbing gel. Add in numbing to the first 500 people who subscribe. You'll get numbing gel. You can numb it up and pop it out yourself. Okay.
Look, there are lots of different ways that you can save money, and there are lots of different ways that you can sell your home or you can buy a home. And there are lots of different transactions that happen off market, whether it's on FSBO.com or some other means of selling homes or buying homes. At the end of the day, the most efficient marketplace and the marketplace that has the most homes is usually the realtor marketplace, because this is where the money is. And what do I mean by where the money is? This is where realtors have spent money. They have spent money to maybe stage homes. They've spent money to have the videos, have the pictures, advertise, do all those things. And all those things cost money. The thing that everybody needs to remember is that for every closing that a realtor has, so for every paycheck a realtor has, that realtor has worked with many people that did not end up in a closing for whatever reason. So that cost is, if you will, borne by the one that does close, but it is for all the people that this realtor has worked with and never gotten paid on. Now, if you would like to just pay your realtor to show you homes one at a time, I'm sure your realtor would be happy to do that. But is that really the most efficient way to do it? We know that the a la carte menu, generally speaking, is more expensive. That's why when you go to a nice restaurant and you get the prefix, you get all these wonderful things. But if you were to buy them individually, it is substantially more. It's the same thing with this. You're getting a whole bundle of services, and it is advantageous for the consumer to go through this process with a realtor. A realtor is going to, of course, negotiate on your behalf, guide you through the process, do all kinds of things that you are unfamiliar with, because let's face it, most people don't buy and sell a home very frequently, and not in the same market. Different markets have different rules, they have different laws, and that's what realtors are for. Realtors are professionals in that market. They understand the market, they can guide you through the process, and they provide a valuable service. Now, why would a seller hire a realtor? Well, because they provide a valuable service. Why would a buyer hire a realtor? Because they provide a valuable service. These people that sold on their own, they did not think that a realtor provided a valuable service. However, they felt that the attorney that they paid provided a valuable service. So whatever that is, whatever services you're looking for, there is somebody out there who will provide those services for you.
I'm betting the person who bought their house got a smoking deal on it.
You're probably right.
We'll talk about that in a second. Here's
Yeah.
another quote. Excellent article. NAR should be held accountable in MLS database. Should be run by a separate nonprofit. So even owners can list in it without a sales agent as well by just paying $250 fee. So they're even setting the price. Why should one pay 3% of a house price to list in the MLS? You pay nothing. You can call us today. We will put your house in the MLS and you do not have to pay us anything right now. There is no fee. We don't charge you anything for all of that. It's only at closing, but that percent fee includes the whole everything that we did from
Right.
the day we meet you until closing, right?
Right.
NAR settled because they can still effectively have the monopoly. NAR is one of the main contributors to the broken high-cost housing system that's become affordable for most who home buyers want it. Let's say realtors work for free. We're just going to not get paid. We're just going to go out and work for free.
Well, you know what? Realtors should work for free and homeowners should sell their home for free.
Okay, hold on.
So, if you have a home, go ahead and sell it to the next guy for free. Don't charge him anything.
I go to a seller and go, Mr. Seller, your house is worth $500,000. However, we have a good deal now. I'm going to work for free, and the agent on the buyer side is going to work for free too. So what we want you to do is, let's say we're going to charge you a 6% fee. That's $30,000 in total commissions, right? We're not going to charge that. So you have a choice. You can still sell the house for $500,000 to put that money in your pocket, or you can discount the house to $470,000 and give it to a buyer who will then get all that equity. He'll get your $500,000 house for $470,000 because we're working for free. Now on it, if you're a home seller, would you rather take the $500,000 and put all the extra money in your pocket, or would you somehow want to give it to the buyer so that you can help the poor guy out?
So, in my experience, sellers want to get the most for their home.
Okay, let's talk about this too, because this is super interesting. They may not know this, but we're realtors and real estate agents, okay?
Which is not the same thing.
Because a lot of times I think people are like, oh yeah, they call us and go, hey, I watch your channel all the time. We just bought a house. We just sold our house. That's great. You could have called us. But anyway, we have flipped a number of homes for ourselves and other people. We have listed in the MLS over 3,000 houses, right? How many times on our personal flips where we were basically working the listing side for free, and did we put it on Fizbo.com or Zillow and not want to pay an agent 3%?
Never.
Why would we want to put it in the MLS and pay 3% when we could just skip that?
Because we want to get qualified buyers and we want to get the most money for the house.
Okay.
Same reason why we wouldn't put our rental on Craigslist.
Okay. You'd rather pay an agent to bring a tenant.
Absolutely.
You're paying for service. The service is other professionals bringing a client to you.
Right, and vetting that client.
Vetting the client, representing the client.
Absolutely, it makes sense.
So it seems odd that another real estate agent, who is the person who wrote this, by the way, in Massachusetts, literally has been apparently doing this for over 20 or 30 years, can't see this. Like, this is all something they don't understand. That surprises me.
Well, so it doesn't surprise me, because just because this person has a real estate license doesn't make him a practitioner. So we start there.
Right. That's like the flippers you see on TV. I get that all the time. Oh, you're in Vegas. You must know those like famous flippers. I'm like, we've done 3,000 deals and none with them. We don't even know who they are. Like, literally nobody knows who they are. It's a TV thing. It's like me going, oh, you live in New York. Do you go to the cafe that the Friends go to? You know Friends, the TV show, the 6 people? Do you ever go in there when they're in there hanging out? It's not real. It's a TV show. It's not like they don't go there and hang out for real. Nobody really knows those people. They don't exist. Like, there is no Chandler Bing. God rest his soul. He just passed away. But like I'm saying, that they don't exist. Right? When you see these TV shows, for the most part, it's not real. So anyway, that's my rant about the TV shows. We should do a whole episode on that, because we were approached a long time ago to be on some of these TV shows, and it was like, once they told us how the shows work, we're like, no, thank you. We don't want to participate in that.
Okay. Anything else that you want to talk about the article?
No, I'm going to give you the final word, because this has been my take the whole time, and I'm sorry this is running long, but here's the thing. First of all, you want to make those jokes at the beginning because they were funny. Secondly, our contention has always been that the fee, if there was collusion, why not make it just 10%? Why not 20%? Why was it 5 or 6 or whatever? The truth is there's no collusion because there are people, you can go find someone who will list for $1,000, put in the MLS. Go on any search engine, type in $1,000 listing in Birmingham, Alabama, and you'll find an agent who will do that. You can go meet him and negotiate how that works, okay? But instead, this is an efficient marketplace. This is how the marketplace works, and sellers and buyers both benefit from the efficient marketplace. And trying to dismantle it, saying it's somehow collusion, well, it's going to come back to be the exact same thing because that's the market. It's market forces.
Right. And as far as the prices of homes and rents and that sort of thing, that's a function of supply and demand. And I don't see how NAR controls supply or demand because NAR doesn't build homes. Realtors do not build homes. We do not do anything to either encourage demand or build homes or not build homes. So that really doesn't hold water either. As far as the Roe v. Wade, that caught my attention, and I was like, "You've got to be kidding!" And it was just so convoluted that I'm not even going to go into it.
No, it literally was like I was waiting to read about how, the war in the Middle East was NAR's fault. Like there was going to be some NAR. I don't know what that was going to be.
Exactly. So, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, this article was pretty clickbaity and it was kind of fun to read. So if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, hit the notification bell, share the video, and like the video. If you did not enjoy the video, then absolutely subscribe, hit the notification bell, share the video, like the video, and leave us a comment telling us a topic that you would enjoy us doing a video on. So we do take your comments seriously, we do take your suggestions seriously, and often we do the videos that you guys request.
Yeah.
All right. We had a good time. Hope you did too. If you're thinking of buying or selling in Vegas or anywhere else, please consider using our services. We would love to work with you and meet you in person. We'll see you on the next video. Bye.
Bye.